have a number of very distinguished guests here this afternoon. I'd like to first of all welcome the Honorable High Commissioner, His Excellency Mark Berman, Honorable Minister Zulfikar Mustapha, Mr. Neto, the resident representative of the UNDP, Mr. Wilmot Garnett, the IICA representative, and all members of the UN, the Canadian government, and the government of Guyana. And not to forget my good friend Gillian, the FAO representative here. Welcome everybody. Now we're here at, I'll be very brief because we're a little bit of a hurry. You see behind me the work of the students of GSA. Climate smart agriculture is extremely important to the government of Guyana to have climate resilient agricultural practices. A few months ago we had the ceremony, the groundbreaking ceremony. This was all just an empty field. A lot of the work here was done by the students. There's a video showing them, as well as studying, they've done all this work themselves. GSA has a large proportion of females. 60% of our students are females. The Engender project is here to empower females in climate smart agriculture. All of this work here was done by GSA females, with the help of IICA, the UNDP, and the Office of Climate Change. We'd like to start off the program by asking the resident representative of the UNDP, Mr. Noto, to say a few words on behalf of the UNDP.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Very happy to be here and to see the work really come to fruition. Honorable Zulfikar Mustapha, Minister of Agriculture of Republic of Guyana, His Excellency Mark Berman, High Commissioner of Canada to the Republic of Guyana, Mr. Wilmot Garnett, IICA representative in Guyana, and Mr. Gavin Ranarain, CEO of Guyana School of Agriculture, FAO representative, UN colleagues, government colleagues, Canada High Commission, ladies and gentlemen, students. As I say, very happy to be here at this occasion as resident representative of the United Nations Development Program in the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. In UNDP, with many other institutions, has been able to contribute to this effort. And at this time, allow me to acknowledge the diligence of the implementing partner and first the host of the event, the Guyana School of Agriculture, the Office of the President, Department of Environment and Climate Change, the collaborating agencies, the Inter-American Institute for Agriculture Cooperation, IICA, and definitely, as I say, the School of Agriculture, and particularly not only the authorities, but also the students that really involved directly in the project of enabling gender-responsive disaster recovery, climate and environmental recovery in the Caribbean, as project known as Engender. But especially I would like to acknowledge and thank the partners in this initiative. It's a regional initiative. First of all, Canada, through the Global Affairs Canada, as well as UK through the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office of the United Kingdom, and that really make possible this initiative during many years, and in the last stage, the support of Canada. In addition to the participating nations in this regional effort, the World Food Program, UN Women, and the Caribbean Disaster Management Agency also collaborated with the Engender project regionally. The Engender project began in 2019 among 9 Caribbean nations: Antigua and Barbuda, Belize, the Commonwealth of Dominica, Grenada, the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, Jamaica, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and Suriname, and has provided important opportunities to advance the regional shared vision of climate change resilience. The project made a significant contribution to climate change adaptation through innovative capacity building and the introduction of sustainable agricultural practices, incorporating gender equality and human rights-based approaches to disaster risk reduction and climate response. The gender project fully conforms to the national priorities as stated in the low carbon development strategy here in Guyana, as well as the priorities specified in the Paris Agreement and the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. The gender project is central to the achievement of the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals Agenda, encompassing environmental, economic, and social dimensions. UNDP is highly satisfied for the demonstration of innovative and climate-smart production techniques and methods such as hydroponics and aquaponics, support climate-resilient livelihoods in the local communities, and help that all of that helping Guyana to strengthen its capacity for resilience and response to climate change. This project, in this particular part of it, was focused on the student of the Guyana School of Agriculture, has helped to introduce a gender-based perspective in climate-smart agriculture while also advancing youth social inclusion. Since the project focuses on both entrepreneurship and income generation, it offers a novel way to advance income-generating opportunities, spark youth interest, as well as accelerate progress toward women empowerment and gender equality. And as was shared with us, the women students has really played a very leading role in making this a reality. So I'd like to close you commenting the timely execution of the project activity by the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation and Agriculture, IICA, Guyana School of Agriculture, and the National Agricultural Research and Extension Institute, NARE, depending on the Ministry of Agriculture. And definitely acknowledging the collaborative effort among supported agencies. We extend our sincere gratitude to the Government of Canada for its unwavering support of the Gender Initiative. Additionally, we recognize the value of leadership of the Office of the President in collaboration with the IICA and the Guyana School of Agriculture, as well as the Ministry and the Minister of Agriculture in fostering a more resilient, prosperous, and inclusive agriculture future for Guyana. Reiterate in the name of UNDP our full commitment to continue supporting inclusive, sustainable development with the government and people of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. I'd like to call to the floor Mr. Wilmot Garnett to say a few words on behalf of IICA.
First, I want to say thanks. It's been a pleasure working with a great partnership. And what we did collectively, we looked at the best practices for climate-smart agriculture. This project is the first of its kind. It's a greenhouse. It will have aquaponics as well as hydroponics. So there's a fish component here. But with the partnership that we've had and the resources, I want to make it very clear that projects have a start and an end date. This project, as Ms. Lucina knows, finished in April, but we know that we need to continue supporting the Guyana School of Agriculture, so we will find additional resources to continue this project. We also want to use this facility here as a training facility for our farmers. So we will be working with the GSA, the Ministry of Agriculture, and other partners, FAO, for example, CARDI, to make sure that we bring farmers here. We have been discussing not only the importance of production, but it's also safe and nutritious food. So that's a component that we're going to use here. You can see the dips and so on. This has a closure fixture so that we reduce pests. Well, it's open now because of this ceremony, but it's where we'll keep pests and diseases as much as possible out. It's not only producing, as I said, but safe and nutritious food. There's also the component of water conservation. The same effluents from the fish will form a part of the nutrient for the plants and so on. So there's the protein as well as the veggies that the students will be using in the cafeteria. So it's a great opportunity, the first of its kind in Guyana. We certainly want to replicate this facility. Very important, before I close, two very important issues. One is the cost of production. We're training the students because agriculture is a business. So it's not only to come and put one of the towers, for example, is 80 plants, one of the boxes, 420 plants. We need to put value to the work that we're doing because agriculture is a business. And this is the place for us to make sure that we do it, the Guyana School of Agriculture. Second component is that we're using precision agriculture. So the project we built in where we have special meters. We'll be testing the water, testing the plant and so on regularly so that the students could understand the importance of precision and agriculture and move away from what we traditionally do, eyesight agriculture as we call it historically. So thanks again to the partners, and we'll certainly keep engaging you for us to have continuity. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Wilmot. I see some of the students when Wilmot mentioned the fact that the fish is here, that they'll be looking forward to eating this fish. The students, as you know, are residential, so they grow all the food that they eat. So this is another change to their diet. I'd like to welcome to the podium His Excellency Mark Berman to say a few words on behalf of the Government of Canada, who've been instrumental in this.
Thank you very much. Minister of Agriculture, the Honourable Zulfikar Mustapha. Was it something I said? I'm not sure if it's, Resident Representative of the UNDP Guyana, Mr. Gerardo Noto, Inter-American Institute for Cooperation in Agriculture Representative Mr. Wilmot Garnett, CEO of the Guyana School of Agriculture, Mr. Gavin Ramnaran, other government partners, development partners, colleagues, students particularly of the facility of the Guyana School of Agriculture, media invitees. Good afternoon, welcome. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm always delighted to get outside. I wish I wasn't in a suit and I was more properly attired for being in a farm, but increasingly they do. I also want to acknowledge that I have a guest from Canada here today. Sharon Peake is the Executive Director of our Caribbean Regional Development Program. I'm delighted she can be here today, so it's great to have her here. So it is an honour and a privilege to welcome you all on behalf of the Government of Canada to this afternoon's handover ceremony delivers on Canada's commitment to support innovative climate resilient agriculture practices to combat national, regional and global food security. Many of you will know that there are more than 250 million people affected by acute food insecurity, and Canada considers climate change and the impacts on food and livelihood security one of the most significant challenges to the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals. As we all know, climate change can disrupt food availability, reduce food access, increase food costs and affect food quality. And for example, changes in precipitation patterns and extreme weather events have led to reduced agricultural productivity, which impacts livelihoods of small-scale farmers. Therefore, harnessing climate-smart agricultural practices is more and more necessary than ever for a sustainable future and global food security. Canada is committed to supporting efficiency and climate resilience in the agricultural and food sector to strengthen food security and significantly cut agriculture's environmental footprint. So in line with our climate finance commitment for climate-smart agriculture and food systems, Canada continues to deliver programming that focuses on smallholder farmers, especially women and youth, to help improve their economic resilience and their livelihoods and through sustainable practices while facilitating access to resources. So we're really proud to fund projects such as this one that we're here today to acknowledge, enabling gender-responsive disaster recovery, climate and environmental resilience in the Caribbean project, commonly known as Engender, a project that's implemented by our partners, the UNDP. And since 2020, Canada, through Engender, has been providing considerable support to 9 Caribbean countries, including, of course, to Guyana. The project has worked to address the impact of climate change on agriculture, fisheries, health, tourism, water availability and energy, and on women and girls and other vulnerable groups in particular. And this aligns well with the UN Framework Convention on Climate Change, Guyana's own low-carbon development strategy, which both prioritize climate-resilient agriculture and entrepreneurship. And the project also contributes to the targets set by CARICOM members, championed by Guyana and of course President Ali himself, to reduce the region's food importation by 25% by 2025. Under the Engender project, the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation in Agriculture, in collaboration with the Guyana School of Agriculture, is working to ensure availability of and access to climate-resilient agricultural teaching that is tailored to Guyana's local context. And this greenhouse that you're seeing here behind me today houses the hydroponic, aquaponic facilities, and are being handed over today will provide an opportunity to impart knowledge of climate resilient agriculture production as a sustainable safeguard for food security and the creation of employment. Colleagues, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the Government of Guyana, the Guyana School of Agriculture, and the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation in Agriculture, as well as the UNDP, UN Women in World Food Programme, SEDIMA, and all other partners who are and have contributed to the progress and the success achieved through Engender. I'm hopeful that the support that we've provided will catalyse much needed training in a climate resilient agriculture and help ensure adaptation of practices that address climate change and consequently contribute to regional food security. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, and I look forward to the continuing support of the Government of Canada. For those of you who don't know, the Guyana School of Agriculture comes under the Ministry of Agriculture. And I'm about to introduce the final speaker, our Honourable Minister of Agriculture. Now, I just want to say a few things. The unwavering support the Minister gives. A lot of people talk about climate smart agriculture. The Minister lives and breathes it. So I'd like to introduce the Minister to say a few words.
Mr. Ramnarain, Your Excellency, High Commissioner of Canada to Guyana, UNDP representative, our guest from Canada, Dr. Gillian Smith, my good friend Wilmot Garnett, special invitees, I saw former Minister Indra Chandrapal, and students here from the Guyana School of Agriculture. Today is a very important day for you who are attending this school. I stand before you today as this project is being realized. We know for a fact, I want to first of all thank the Canadian government. This is only part of some of the projects that they have been funding in CARICOM country. I was just chatting with the High Commissioner just now, and they have some other projects that they are doing too for climate smart agriculture in the Caribbean. But today's activity in opening this project, we are showing the world that the second most disaster-prone area in the world is prepared to address the number one problem of climate change. We have seen over the years what have happened in the Caribbean. Many economies in the Caribbean was just destroyed because of the elements of weather condition and climate change. And as I said, that this initiative here this afternoon is made possible by the visionary, enabling gender-responsive disaster, recovery, climate and environmental resilience in the Caribbean. That's the name of the project. Represent a significant step forward in our nation's journey toward gender equality, climate-smart agriculture, and a more sustainable future. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude to IICA and the Guyana School of Agriculture. The Guyana School of Agriculture over the years we have seen has played a very important role, not only for Guyana, agriculture in Guyana, but across the Caribbean. Many leaders in government within the Caribbean would have passed through this school. As a matter of fact, the Premier for Montserrat, he had passed through this school here too. The present Minister of Agriculture from St. Lucia would have come across here also. So there are a number of persons who would have passed through here, this school. And this year, as His Excellency the President would have announced, or had just announced at the CARICOM Summit, the opening of the CARICOM Summit, that this school will make it, jointly working with IICA, to make it a center of excellence. Over the years, we have known that this school has had a tremendous influence because the name at that time was Repos, where a number of students from the Caribbean normally comes here to attend school. Since I became Minister of Agriculture, we have restarted that. We have students from Barbados coming here, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and other countries in the Caribbean. So this here will be a very important institution for us. we are planning to build a center of excellence where we can encompass all the ideas and all the training in agriculture right here. Also, we'll build a fab lab that the IICA has one like those in Costa Rica at their headquarters that we are looking to replicate in Guyana. And also, we are now looking to build a situation room, a data center, where we can have real-time data, not only for Guyana, but the Caribbean, so that we can drive this process that we talk about. And the UNDP, both the UNDP rep and the Canadian High Commissioner would have alluded to the fact that President Ali's vision is to ensure that Guyana become that center or that hub in producing and distributing food around the Caribbean. And we have seen over the last 2 years, the import of the food import bill start to decline also in the Caribbean because of the work that we have been doing. And right here in Mandripo, not far away, we have another greenhouse or another hydroponics farm, one of the largest in the Caribbean, 20,000 square feet, that are producing all leafy vegetables right next door here. And that's a tremendous project for us because we are seeing a number of persons now have been engaged in that project. Why I am mentioning these things? Because I am not talking about this here right now, but I am talking about these other projects. Because it's important that we mention what we have started. And now with the Canadian help, with the initiative that both the Canadian, the IICA, UNDP and other programs, what they have for our country, we have had now this project, a training ground, a greenhouse project. We have heard Wilma talk about hydroponics, aquaponics, where we'll have almost 5,000 plantlets being grown here simultaneously, and we're in fish also. So that's the training that we are looking at. And when we talk about precision agriculture, this is the way to go. Start it so that we can implement it. We have seen a number of this project across the country already. Over the last 3 years, we have built over 450 shade houses across the country. We have seen a number of projects which we have implemented that encompass young people and women. And we have an objective in the Ministry of Agriculture that all projects must include 35% women and youth must be involved in those projects. The Black Belly Sheep project is one. Now the Shade House project that we are doing. So all these projects are empowering young people. We have recently started the Cut Rose project. We are now producing 50% of the roses that we used to purchase from overseas. And I'm very optimistic that in another 2 years from now, we can produce all the roses for Guyana. But there are a number of single parents, single mothers who are involved and who are benefiting from projects like those. So today's exercise is very important. I want the students of the Guyana School of Agriculture to make full use of it. I also ask that the GRDB and the NARI, especially NARI, to bring farmers here so that we can train them. We can have farmers training school right here, do the practical things so that they can learn the best practices that we want them to do. So on behalf of the government of Guyana, on behalf of the Ministry of Agriculture, I want to extend our sincere thanks for this project, and I look forward for more projects across the country, because what we are doing, we are not only doing things in Mandripo, which is considered as the main area for us in this part of the country. We want to take things outside of Region 4, outside of Georgetown. That is why also we'll be building this year, and we started the construction already, 3 other hydroponic farms in Regions 2, 5, and 10, where over 300 young people each will benefit from those farms. So those are the things that we have been doing. Those are the kind of projects we have been doing to empower young people, to bring in more young people into agriculture, because today young people see agriculture as a menial job. Today young people see agriculture as a job for old people who never went to school. We have to change that perception. Many students who went through this school, who passed through this school, they are not doing agriculture. They are just behind a desk doing clerical work. We have to change that perception, and we have been seeing more and more young people are coming in to the agriculture sector today. And that is good for us, because if we want food security, we have to ensure that we modernize the sector. We have to ensure that we prepare for all the issues that we'll face in the future, not only climatic problem, but we also have to face the issue of fair trade when we produce our goods. And these are the things that we are looking at. So I want to extend my appreciation to the Canadian government, to UNDP, IICA, and the Guyana School of Agriculture for building this model project here. We will use this, and this will help us tremendously in training not only the students from the Guyana School of Agriculture, but farmers across the country. Once again, thank you very much.